Key 1. Stoic, the essence of philosophy and self-improvement is not merely about gaining knowledge, but about preparing ourselves for life's inevitable challenges. The goal is to reach a point where, when adversity strikes, we can calmly say, "This is what I've been training for." Life has always been, and will always be, unfair. However, its unfairness affects each person differently. Take Marcus Aurelius, for example. He didn't choose to be emperor. He didn't choose to lose his father at a young age. Nor did he decide that a plague would ravage his empire or that his closest confidant would betray him. But despite all this, he rose to the occasion. And then there's Epictetus, whose life exemplifies resilience in the most extreme form. Born a slave at one of the worst times in history, he didn't choose to be enslaved. After gaining his freedom, he was exiled. Yet, despite the unimaginable hardships, Epictetus not only endured but thrived. He became one of the most profound philosophers in history. This is what life demands of us, facing the uncontrollable and not just dealing with it, but overcoming it. Resilience is about bouncing back, becoming better, and growing stronger through the challenges we face. And Epictetus is the perfect teacher when it comes to showing us how to do just that. Epictetus believed that the first task of a philosopher, and anyone who wishes to live a good life, is to differentiate between what's within our control and what's not. This may sound simple, but it's incredibly powerful. Ask yourself, is this in my control? Do I need to care about it? Will my emotions or actions change the outcome? If the answer is no, then let it go. It's not worth your time or energy. Every moment spent worrying about what's outside your control is energy taken away from what you can control. The key here is to treat this as a resource management issue. Imagine you have a limited amount of energy points each day. Every time you direct your energy to something you can't control, you're giving the world an advantage, diminishing your power. This is the first major advantage that the Stoics teach us, the ability to focus on what truly matters and what's in our power to influence. Every day, ask yourself some critical questions. Epictetus boiled down the essence of life to two simple concepts: persist and resist. Some things in life you must endure, even though they're difficult. Other things you must resist, no matter how tempting or how hard it is to do so. These two principles, persistence and resistance, are at the heart of self-discipline and self-mastery. When we can master both, we become capable of achieving what we are truly meant to achieve. Discipline and self-control are not optional. They're the foundation for personal growth. If you want to improve at anything, whether it's in your career, your relationships, or even in your character, you need self-discipline. It will make you not only better at what you do, but it will elevate everything you do. I can speak from experience here. When I moved to New Orleans over 10 years ago, I didn't tell anyone I was writing a book. The reason? Two key Stoic ideas. First, as Epictetus says, you must be content with looking foolish or inexperienced if you wish to improve. It was more important to me that I stayed focused on my work rather than worrying about how I was perceived. Second, a Stoic doesn't talk about what they're doing, they simply do it. I didn't want to waste energy talking about my book. I want to spend every available moment actually writing it. In the end, everyone was surprised when the announcement came out, but I had been content in my solitude, focused solely on the task at hand. That's the Stoic way. We don't seek validation or applause. We seek mastery and growth. Through discipline and perseverance, we can become the best version of ourselves. And when life throws its inevitable challenges our way, we will be ready, not just to survive, but to thrive. Key 1. Stoic, when life throws challenges our way, how we respond often matters more than the challenges themselves. People often ask how I got to where I am, and the answer is simple. We did what we had to do. We gave it our best. We chose to learn from every experience. We kept our humor alive, and above all, we kept our faith. Every step was framed by the choices we made, to persevere, to grow, and to rise above adversity. But the real question is not how we did it, but how you choose to face your challenges. How do you respond when things get tough? How do you navigate the pressure in your life? While much of life is beyond our control, one thing is always ours: how we choose to respond. One of the most powerful teachings from the Stoic philosopher Epictetus is, "A prison is a place, a podium is a place." From his own experience as a slave, Epictetus knew that while we don't control our circumstances, we always have the freedom to choose how we respond. Even in physical chains, our minds and our will remain free. A great modern example of this philosophy in action is Admiral James Stockdale. During his 7 years as a prisoner of war in Vietnam, he embraced Stoicism as a mental framework. As he parachuted into enemy territory, he mentally prepared himself for the coming trials by saying, "I'm leaving the world of technology and entering the world of Epictetus." Despite the unimaginable suffering he endured, Stockdale remained resolute in his mindset. He was determined to transform his suffering into something meaningful. His refusal to surrender to despair, his strength to endure, and his choice to find purpose in his hardship made him an extraordinary example of heroism. This became what's known as the Stockdale paradox, the understanding that while we can't control what happens to us, we control how we respond to it. In his case, the more horrendous the challenge, the greater his opportunity for personal transformation. Epictetus himself, born into slavery, understood this profound truth. He witnessed the supposed free people of Rome, including those in Nero's court, trapped by their ambition and their pursuit of power. He realized that true freedom doesn't come from external circumstances. It comes from our ability to control our inner world. While the world may chain us physically, it can't control our mind or take away our power to choose. Stoicism teaches that no matter where we are in life, whether a slave or an emperor, we always have the freedom to decide our reactions, our priorities, and our attitudes. This is why Stoicism remains relevant. It's not just for people like Epictetus or Marcus Aurelius. It's for anyone who seeks peace, resilience, and strength. Life will always bring hardship, but Stoicism shows us that hardship isn't something to fear. It's something to embrace. The philosophy prepares us to handle tough times, just like soldiers training in winter for the battles ahead. When we practice Stoicism, we are ready for adversity. So when life gets difficult, instead of feeling overwhelmed, we can say, "Yes, this is what I prepared for." The question is, are you ready for it? Have you done the inner work to handle life's challenges when they come? Because it's those who are mentally and emotionally prepared who come out stronger on the other side. Stoicism isn't just a set of ideas, it's a way of life. And it's waiting for you to make it your own. Key 1. Stoic success doesn't just come to those who dream of it. It belongs to those who've put in the hours, the relentless training, and the preparation for any situation life might throw at them. As Bill Bradley once said, when you're not practicing, someone else is. And when you meet that person, they'll beat you. It's the ones who sacrifice, who sweat through the tough moments, who emerge ready when the time comes. Preparation is your advantage. It's your armor. There's a powerful lesson in the story of Epictetus. One night, as he sat in his home, he heard the sound of someone breaking in. Rushing to the scene, he saw that a thief had taken his prized silver lamp. But Epictetus wasn't angry, nor did he feel violated. Instead, he calmly reflected, "You can only lose what you have." The next day, he simply bought a less valuable lamp, choosing peace over possession. This teaches us a profound truth. Possessions come with a price far beyond their monetary value. The real cost isn't the price tag or the maintenance. It's the anxiety, the worry of losing what we think we own. The Stoics knew this. They believed that true freedom came when we stopped letting our things possess us. Success, wealth, and fame might seem desirable, but often they are the heaviest chains, trapping us in stress and fear. When it comes to training and work, it's important to focus not on the external accolades or the finish line, but on the process itself. Just like running a marathon, it's not about racing against others. It's about doing the work for its own sake. This is the intrinsic motivation that Stoics champion, improving for the sake of improvement, not for the validation or recognition of others. As Epictetus wisely said, if you want to win, find a competition in which you are the only one in it. This mindset frees you from comparing yourself to others and shifts your focus back to self-mastery. When you run your own race, on your own terms, you can't lose. At the heart of Stoicism lies the ability to reflect on our own thoughts. This is the true power, the space to pause, to think before reacting. How often do we allow our emotions to control us? How often do we act impulsively, without considering the consequences? Stoicism teaches that we can step back from our feelings, examine them, and choose how to respond. That pause, what the Stoics called ruling reason, is what sets us apart. If you can master your thoughts, you become far wiser than most. You'll navigate life's turbulence with grace, recognizing that your true happiness doesn't come from external sources, but from your own growth and self-control. As Epictetus found joy in his day-to-day improvement, we too can find fulfillment in our personal development. This joy isn't tied to fleeting things like money, status, or recognition. It's the quiet joy that comes from knowing we are becoming the best version of ourselves. This is what the Stoics valued above all else, the pursuit of self-mastery. They weren't trying to control the world, but rather their own responses to it. When you learn to manage your mind, you discover a deeper, lasting happiness. One that's built not on the unpredictable world around you, but on your ability to control your own reactions, your thoughts, and your emotions.